Oh, well, it's good coming to you. We at June 19th. Yesterday was my birthday, I tell you. I celebrated home and just reflected on many years, on 45 years. It's something how that come down on you. And you look back, I called old girlfriends that I thought that should have been my wife. You know what I mean? I called old girlfriends and said, right before, like the president, when he get out, he signed pardon. Right before 10:30, because I was born 10:30, June 18th, 1963. 6 months, 17 days. 100 years, 6 months. 17 days after Emancipation Proclamation.
Right,
so I was my mother's freedom child.
All right then.
She always referred to me, my father, that was born 100 years after the freedom. You understand? It wasn't real freedom because we still had that Jim Crow law line.
Well, today is Juneteenth.
Yes, and today is Juneteenth, so this is for the Texas brothers and sisters that got freed in June of 1863. My people come from Georgia, so they were free January 1st, you see, really, coming up to January 1st, 1862, they were free.
That just proves if you don't know you're free, you're not free.
Exactly, but a good thing that after Dr. King come along with the, speech and everything in Washington, the March on Washington, and then we got the school board
Brown versus the Board of Education.
Yeah, and then so after all that right there is really when the real freedom come. And if you look at the whole diaspora of black people, no matter where they come from in the world, you see the independence of their countries from colonial powers and things of that nature. So all that when we start going out our way and try to be so different, mainly we have the same story.
We're all one people.
All one blood. I remember meeting a brother in St. Thomas that was by way of Jamaica, and he sold me a coconut. Cut the coconut
right,
in top.
with the machete.
Yeah, with the big machete. You know what I mean? A little frightening there. Dark little road. And I drank the coconut so fast he gave me another one. He said, "Remember one thing: we all one blood." You understand? And it is true. But it's good coming to you today, folks. Again, we're at June 19th and everything. I feel good because I'm going to start titling things after 45. I'm after 45 now. 10:30 yesterday I was 45. Now I'm after 45. I'm headed on down, on up to 50. Keep hope alive. But we continue to, do what we can at the church of what's happening now in town, talker, and try to work with the community and bring, just bring us all together. That's what it's all about. Today, I'm sitting here with Victory, Victory, Deborah Dow. She's running in November for councilwoman at large. Is this the first time? Because normally it's councilmen at large. Is this the first?
No, there have been other women who have sat on the council in Plainfield for years.
Okay.
That's one thing we can definitely say.
All right. As at large, in the at large position?
And in various positions.
Okay.
We also had years ago a female assemblywoman.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
I think women have been present. This is the first mayor we've had, but women have been present and active in politics in Plainfield for years.
Okay, well that's a good thing. So let Plainfield be, what would be the term today, diverse?
Well, my father used to tell me that you can tell the level of education of any people by the level of education of their women.
Yes, Lord.
Because the women are the first source of knowledge for the child.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with that. I got a lot of my knowledge from my mama, but again, arrogance set in, and I remember telling my mama when I said, "You're a very smart woman, but when I want to learn how to talk to women, I'm going to talk to daddy." She used to chase me and say, "Get on out of here, boy, you done lost your mind." But you know what I mean?
Well, there's always any good excuse to talk to daddy is a good thing.
So keep hope alive, So now, you went to Washington yesterday for the hospital.
Well, we got up at... Well, we left at 3 in the morning.
Okay.
We got up a little earlier than that. I had a little faith in myself, so I didn't go to sleep.
All right.
We left from City Hall, 6 of us, and we went to have breakfast with the Senators Lautenberg and Menendez.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Well, I've never done that before, though I understand many people routinely go to Washington and lobby their representatives in the Capitol. There were several people there from other parts in New Jersey. There was a large Pakistani delegation.
I heard about that.
And when they saw the Muhlenberg signs, because we don't go anywhere without our signs, they said Dr. Sadiq. And if you remember, Dr. Sadiq spoke at the hearing.
Sure.
So they didn't know who we were, but when they saw Muhlenberg, they identified with one of our people. And this is the most diverse movement. It's been my pleasure not only to participate in, but to see. I have never seen this many people from various backgrounds. We have Indians, Pakistanis, Chinese, Korean, not to mention every type of a black person you would want to find.
Sure.
And I really am proud of the white men and women, many of them with totally white hair, who have come and marched in picket lines.
Yes.
People older than the both of us
Yes.
have marched and have shouted and have carried this message as far as we can take it. And, I'm just proud to be one of them. It is a great opportunity that I suggest everybody participate in, and you can join us today at our vigil from 9 in the morning to 9 at night. We'll be having postcards available that you can send messages to the governor about saving our hospital. All you have to do is ride down Roosevelt. We're opposite the emergency room and the hospital entrance in a vacant lot near the tennis courts. We have a little canopy pitch.
Is that Roosevelt or is that Randolph?
Oh, pardon me. I keep making that Randolph.
Randolph Road.
Thank you.
Okay.
Don't want to lead you astray.
You astray. Keep them alive.
Right. But I mean, we'll be there till 9 o'clock tonight with a large supply of postcards. Anything you'd like to say to Governor Corzine, this is your opportunity, and we will get your messages there.
Well, Governor Corzine owed me a favor because I remember many years ago when he was running and they had the election, they had the debate with him and Doug Foster at the Crossroads Theater. And I think this was the time I first joined the Harvest family, 2005. And I remember when William Bennett, the one that wrote the book on what was the book here? Book on, if I could kind of threw me that he would say something like this. I can't think of the book.
He was a political analyst of some sort.
Yeah. And you see him on, I think, CNN sometime.
Okay.
I think that's the same Bennett and everything. When he said, if you want to, the Book of Virtues he wrote. He rewrote the Book of Virtues. And he said that if you wanted to clean up the cities, abort all black babies. And of course, I was at the time 2 weeks on harvest, you know what I mean? I was 2 weeks on harvest at the time when he said that. And I came in here, and I'll never forget, Yvonne Nunn was the engineer on the other side. And I came in here, boy, and I really let it go, I said, they're going to kick me off of her. They're going to throw me out. I'll never be back, But thank God that we got past that, because I lost it because my mother and father raised me up to recognize that Jim Crow law. I could recognize it, and anytime someone say anything about executing people, then I tell you, I lose it,
But that is the extreme. What we're dealing with is something I'd like to call genocide light.
Yes.
That's a little different than extremes. It's when you deprive people of the basic necessities that it takes to sustain and to prosper and to thrive.
Yes.
You may not see it as a Holocaust. You may not see it as an atrocity until something like Katrina happens in New Orleans, and it is written large for the world to see. And what we're fighting is to keep from being a tragedy right here in this community. We've had flooding. Not recently, but we've had loss of life from water in the 80s. Somebody died on Richmond Street.
Okay.
So Greenbrook and Denellen are not the only communities threatened by uncontrolled development in the hills above us. And we will be in the lowlands without our hospital if certain people have their way.
Well, and that's why, I'm Reverend Zachariah A. Jackson from the Church of What's Happening Downtown talk show where we here today. I often say that, the battle, it's not over. If we want victory, we got to come on up out of the houses and stay. Like I went after William Bennett years ago, like I said, 2005, 2 weeks on the radio. I did not know these people. They did not know me. You understand? I didn't know whether I was going to be tossed out on my back. You know what I mean? But it was just that the love of my family and the love of all that we have contributed to this nation. And, you know, it's like my brothers and sisters around the world that when Bennett went out and said what he said, I mean, I kind of like lost it. And I remember saying to COWHN, you know, before he got in office, when he was having a debate against Doug Foster at the Crossroads Theater, and I never forget when I said to him, I said, you know, I talked about what happened with William Bennett, what he said, and I said, you know, if the monster ever visit our community again, will you help us to defeat this monster? Surely the monster is not Godzilla, because Godzilla come and help the people and go in the ocean and come back out. You understand me? But this monster that we got is an economic, and he trying to take everything. Oh, he trying to get down. That's why we got to come up out of the silence and get on out there.
Well, the wealth of this country, to a large degree, is harvested from a people who have not been able to benefit from their own efforts.
That's the truth.
And, you know, when we look at some of these decisions that are being made, it used to be a time a non-profit corporation was an honorable thing.
Sure.
A better thing
That's
than
right.
for-profit. But now it has just become another mechanism for people to pay their friends and to exploit the resources of a community. It's just another legal structure to hide behind, where you cannot be held accountable if you fail to manage wisely, successfully, or humanely.
Sure.
I've never seen a time like the times we face today.
Well, I think that victory is coming our way because we have new people in office and new people being elected to office. Just walked in the studio is Adrian Mapp. He was able to defeat Don Davis, I believe it was.
That is correct.
And it's just a matter of time, and November's around the corner, him and Annie McWilliams. Annie was able to defeat the Honorable Harold Gibson, you know, longtime politician, and of course I knew of his brother up in Newark. So we got Adrian Mapp here, you know, and they're getting ready for November. So I'm going to let him say some words to the people.
Well, thank you, Reverend Jackson. The first thing I would like to say to the people of Plainfield is thank you. I thank all of the people who came out in such large numbers to support Annie McWilliams and myself. We decided that it would be in the best interest of the people of Plainfield for us to run a campaign on the issues to address those things that the people find to be of greatest concern to them. And we spent a great deal of time over a 6-week period going across the entire Plainfield landscape, talking to people, finding out what their needs are, finding out what their issues are with this administration and with this council. And we presented to them what some of our plans are when we get into office come January 1st. And the people responded in a very positive way, and it is certainly a referendum that was voted upon in terms of the way people responded to us and the way they responded to the lack of leadership that they have seen coming from the council and from the administration. And so we will take what the people have given to us, and we will move forward, and we will begin to work for the people. And so again, Plainfield, we want to thank you in a big way, and know that I am available. I have always been available to you, and you can reach out and call me at any time, and I believe you can do the same to Annie McWilliams, and we will respond wherever the needs are, and we will do our best at every turn to make sure that your needs are served and that we do our very best job for Plainfield as a whole. Thank you, Plainfield.
Okay, that was Adrian Mapp. I just want to take a moment and just go back in time in history. You know, June 19th, 1864, and I believe they refer to this today as Juneteenth, for the slaves, African-American slaves that were in Texas. They needed the military because they were actually free My family then was free in 1863, January 1st, because I'm my mother's freedom child. So the idea is, it's just it's an honor to see how we have evolved over the many